Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of Office Hours. Hey Mario. Hey, the easiest way to get started, I'm guessing you mean in terms of just like general education. The best thing we have right now would probably be the WeWeb 101 section of the docs. I will send you a link to it now. We do have an academy, but it's quite outdated in terms of UI. We're hoping to update it in the next few months. So for now, the kind of the best combination between updated UI and obviously updated functionality would be those WeWeb 101 guides. Every week, so same time every Tuesday, we have these office hours. And these are just for general questions, so absolutely any questions you have, you're more than welcome to ask them. No worries at all. Like I say, if you have any other questions at all, please feel free to ask away. You can, yeah. WeWeb is made for web-based applications. You can make what's called, sorry, progressive web apps, a PWA, which is kind of a hybrid between a web app and a mobile app. But generally speaking, WeWeb is made for creating web-based applications. It's efficient. I mean, pretty much anything you can do in code, you can do in WeWeb. I say the only real level up from WeWeb is pure code. So in terms of efficiency, like I say, whatever you can do in code, you can do in WeWeb. I mean, I guess it depends what you build. If people will pay money for what you built, then yeah. It's like anything really in that sense. You could go off and create a physical product. It just depends if people will pay money for whatever you build. In this case, it's just software. So whatever software you build, it just depends. Like I said, if someone wants to pay money for it. Yeah, no worries. So happy to talk money and business. It's interesting. But yeah, we do this every Tuesday, so any questions you have, feel free to pop in and ask away. Hey, what's on? How's it going? I don't know if you saw, by the way, we did put out docs for the hosting issue you were having. I can send you a link if I'm not sure if Joyce or someone messaged it to you on the forums or something. I can send you a link if you haven't seen it already. I don't think you might have seen the link yet, then so I'll put it in. Yeah, yeah. So basically, we it's just something we didn't have docs on. We discussed about it. It seems like some hosting providers handle the routing out of the box, and some don't. And Apache is one of the ones that doesn't handle it out of the box. Yeah, unfortunately, Flo's not here tonight. What's your issue? I don't know if I can provide a solution, but I can potentially pass it on to the guys. Yeah, I mean, if you have experience with what to add, it'd be super helpful for in the docs. So there's two docs. One is for the Apache specific use case, and then there's a general self-hosting with dynamic routing. And I'm not sure how you pronounce it. NGINX. I'm not gonna try and pronounce it, but yeah, we have a very short example for that. So if you have kind of some more elaborate details that we should add, it'd be super helpful. Thank you. And no pressure, of course. Like I said last time, it's I know it can be a nuisance to pass on the info and write it up and stuff. So only if you know it's not too much effort on your side. So when my render is ready, I need to show the result in the application, but sometimes I can see all completed statuses and all the stuff in Superbase, but not in WeWeb. Yeah, sure thing, no worries. Yeah, I guess it's a tough one without seeing it. Unfortunately, probably the best thing is to put in a support ticket because at least that way you can securely show them an example. Um, yeah, but just unfortunately, I'm not too sure what you mean. Just because I haven't really used Superbase real time very much. I guess it happens when I switch tabs or open some application. So if WeWeb has some sleep mode, as in you don't want WeWeb to detect something when you want using it in some ways, you don't have the tab open directly. Or you mean as in you have real time, basically when you aren't directly viewing the tab, the real time isn't detecting updates. Is that right? Yeah, I'm not too sure on that one. Um, yeah, a Superbase plugin doesn't handle it out of the box. My only guess is that you would have to use some kind of custom JavaScript watches for it, but then that kind of defeats the purpose of the built-in real time. So unfortunately, yeah, I'm not too sure. It would be one for the support guys. Because in editor, when I return to the tab, I can see a mode switch from background mode. Interesting. Yeah, potentially then. You know what, actually, let me check. So all of the elements, the plugins are open source on our GitHub, and so maybe I'm just gonna give the code of the Superbase plugin to ChatGPT and just ask it if it potentially can tell from the code if it can't detect real-time changes if you don't have the tab open, basically. Let's see. I mean, literally just from giving the code to GPT, it seems like it should still be able to detect changes if you have the tab open, but it's in the background. Um, yeah, so that's an odd one. Yeah, I get you. Yeah, unfortunately, the best thing in that situation then is probably just to reach out to the support guys so they can take a look. Yeah. The question, if there is a background sleep mode, can I somehow catch this event? Because when I switch back after some amount of time and auth expires, I can't throw the user to the auth page. So the one thing I'm not sure on is if maybe in that case, if it fires the on app load event, that I'm not too sure on, if that counts as a new session. Because if it does, you might be able to use the on app load, but again, that depends on if it counts as a new session, and I'm not too sure if it does. Um, but I'm sure there's something in the browser API that you could set up custom JavaScript around to catch some kind of on tab change, and then on tab change, you could fetch the user from Supabase, and at that point, if it's expired, then it would become authenticated in the binding menu, and then if authenticated is false, you could throw them to the auth page, I think. Yeah, I think so. There must be something in the browser API that catches some kind of tab change. Let me check. Yeah, so apparently there's the page visibility API, and you can add an event listener to visibility change, and then if I'll put the code that I've just been given by GBT in the chat, just as an example. I don't know how formatted it will be. Okay, oh, it's not too bad, but yeah. So you can an event listener with visibility change, and then if the visibility state is visible, then you know they're on the tab to view your site, basically. Apparently, there's a few different ones. You could also use window.onFocus because there's a window event. So it'd require a bit of experimentation, but it's definitely doable. Hey now, dog. Yes, I mean the biggest thing is we're launching our own backend. Um, as the weeks go by, I wish we could show it off, but things are changing week on week, so we don't want to show too much now, just because, as I say, we're testing so much that it might change next week just through our own internal testing. But yeah, the big thing is the backend, which we should be launching some testing for some users within the next couple of weeks. So it should come before 2026, technically, because of the testing, but public release will likely be in 2026. Sure. Yeah, fair point, Anton. It'd be great to have something like that natively. It'd be great to have, but I don't think there is anything that can cater for it, unfortunately, right now. Um, no. No, yeah, I don't think that there's no event that I can think of that could handle it, Anton. And maybe there's some way we use it behind the scenes in the library, but I'm not too sure. And if that is the case, then I mean, it's probably easier to actually set up an event listener on the browser API events in that case. Sean is Sean. Hello, Sean. How's it going?
Hey, morning. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Good. I'm gonna share my screen and just ask you a couple quickies.
Yeah, no worries.
Cool. It's a little more quiet today, huh? With Thanksgiving and stuff.
Yeah, I think so. It's as it gets closer to the holidays, it always tends to get more and more
Yeah.
quiet.
All right. I'll go easy on you.
Fire away.
All right. So right here, I have trouble like when you use AI and it puts in, this code. I have trouble backing out of it and saying, okay,
hmm
what's going on? And I know it's like the variables are, often identified as some really long string of this right here, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it
So,
depends. Like in that case, it was a formula. But yeah, if it's a workflow, it's a formula. If it's a variable, they're all a unique ID. Yeah.
okay, it's like a UUID or something.
Yeah.
All right. So if I like want to like backtrack and change the original, I have trouble backtracking from here because
hmm
this doesn't give me any. Just I don't know how to backtrack from these values.
Have you tried to use the button above, the convert to no code formula? Does it work?
No, I would though. But how is this referencing anything in the like in other cells? Because
So it's let's take an example. So if you copy that context.item.data, you've got it copied now, but there's just a tiny bit of white space at the start. Yeah. So if you just copy that and you now just open up some other random binding menu, like on the text alignment or something on the right, it could be any of the bindings here in this panel.
any a
Yeah,
different one?
it doesn't. Yeah, just anyone. And then if you paste that into the formula, you see it actually. So it's just a JavaScript way of using these values. So in that
Right.
example,
So what's the name of the variable? Pos diff.
no. So it's using because you've got this set up to repeat items. There's a post diff field in this list of items that you've got it set up to use.
Oh, right here. Okay,
Yeah.
that just seemed like a function, pos diff, or like a. So that's a. So when it's in purple, it's about a variable from the screen, right?
No, when it's in purple, it's coming from your repeating list.
Oh, okay. Purple's repeating list, and that's what this. What's this symbol called here?
It's a good question. I don't know. I've never actually said what this one is called. We always just say on the far left. I don't know. That's a good question.
Oh,
But yeah,
quick.
so that
That's what you
does
call
it?
it when you roll over it. Quick.
Oh, does it? Okay, I've never seen that. Okay, cool. Interesting.
All right, so
yeah,
this is
so
from the
it's
project. So this is quick from typically loop data sets.
exactly, yeah, because you've got this set up in a table, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's whenever you're repeating items, this would be that the data in those repeated items. Yeah.
Okay. All right, got it. So then if I want to back out of, let me just undo that. And so if I want to back out this here and say, hey, where's this coming from? What's the best way to do it?
I mean, so you can kind of tell based on what it says. So if you follow the trail, you can see it says context.item.data.postdiff in the JavaScript. And you see in the purple values at the bottom, there's at the top, it starts with item.data. So it's kind of manually defining that path, because in the JavaScript it says context.item.data.postdiff. And in the purple, it goes item.data, and then it has all the values inside. So then it goes postdiff. So you can kind of do the mental work to reverse engineer it by looking at the JavaScript and seeing what it's doing in that way. Or I guess you could manually pull the values out by doing what we did, where you copy them and paste them in somewhere else, but I wouldn't really recommend that. I mean, the easiest one is to try that convert to no code formula button at the top. And if that works, it can, I mean, that's the best if it can actually do that.
I need more AI tokens. I don't see how I used them so fast. So like, man.
But you know
I
what?
reset in a couple of days.
Maybe because, okay, let's try something. If you copy all of this apart from the return bit at the start.
Mm-hmm.
So if you copy it all, but don't copy the return part. So everything from after return onwards. Yeah, if you copy this, and then I don't want to ruin what you have here. If you go back to that kind of random binding that we had, I think it was on like the text sanitize or something. It doesn't really matter where it is.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it would have to be inside of
the loop.
Yeah.
All right.
If you paste that in here, I don't know if it'll work. We'll find out. If in the formula.
Oh.
Okay, so it's not a
no.
Yeah. No, I think it did. Yeah. So you can this won't always work. The reason it worked here is because behind the scenes, this formula input, it's actually just JavaScript, but we've kind of abstracted it to show some nice visuals. So you can take just straight up JavaScript and put it in here. And if things are formatted in like with the context or item dot whatever, it will show you the kind of plain English visual values. So it can work for something like this, but in some of the more complex examples of JavaScript, it wouldn't work. But if it's simple like this, you could do this.
Ah, nice shortcut. I won't tell anybody.
Well, I mean, it's this. I guess it's an open secret.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's good. That's interesting. So, but you recommend always trying to use the formula, which is more native and faster, right? So why did AI create it in JavaScript? It's just because it's more you haven't converted it totally where AI uses formula more, or?
Yeah, I mean it's just because it has the freedom pretty much. So for one, the generations are just better when it uses JavaScript, to be honest. But two, there's certain things that it can do in JavaScript that you can't really do in formulas. So for example, like if you wanted to do a for each loop, there's no real way to do that in just a formula right now because there isn't a formula to do it. So there's certain use cases as well where it has to use JavaScript. So for us, it just made sense for now for always to de facto to JavaScript.
Okay, but in terms of raw speed, when you compile, it's better when it's in formula or JavaScript?
It's a good, I think, I don't know 100%, but I think they would be the exact same because behind the scenes, it's just...
Somewhere it said best use cases use formula. I forgot
really?
why.
Okay.
Yeah, somewhere I read that.
That one I'm not too sure on, but I believe they'd be the same because behind the scenes, the formula window is just, it's like a JavaScript compiler with just a bit of abstraction to show the value. So I think they would be the same. Yeah,
well, I think JavaScript would be a hair faster because you got that layer to switch to formula.
Although but that's, you only see that in the editor. Once it's compiled,
I got it. You're right. You're right. Thanks. Okay. So if I want to, I basically want to add a comma for these numbers because there's no comma. So what would be the easy ways to do that? Just
the easiest way would actually there's an element in the add panel called number. So if you in the top left, if you open the add panel to add a new element, just to the right a little bit, yeah. If you type in number, and then if you drag this to where that text is right now in those cells, I think it's gone underneath the
Oh yeah, dear. Oh,
because yeah. Okay. I think you would then have to, after this, delete that text. But you could, if you just take the binding you have set up for the text, sorry, that current number. If you take the binding from this
here,
yeah. So if you take all of this and you then go back to the number element, and the value for this is actually in the settings panel. So the middle one on the right here. Yeah. And then if you bind it to be the value.
Oh, yeah. Well, I can do, let's try a formula.
You can, you'll just have to get rid of the return at the start.
Oh, okay, cool. There's
and now on the right, you can, if you click back onto the number, yeah, on the right here, you can kind of define some of the different things in the settings. Like, should there be a 1000 separator? What kind of notation do you want? What style is it?
function.
know. So on the far right in the settings panel.
Oh, I see. Here we go. Yeah. Number, integer, decimal places, 0. Okay. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's
so this
cool.
is
All right.
this makes
Perfect.
it way easier to do that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's a really nice way of doing it. Just paste the formula for. Got it. Okay. Good. All right. Thanks.
Okay. Cool. No worries.
Let me see. I had one more question. Oh yeah, you gonna have like a? Is there an easy way to do light mode and dark mode for an app, or you just is there gonna be just kind of have to?
No, there is a pretty easy way. So if you go to assets at the top left, yes, and then if you open the library, I think it's maybe it's the second tab. No, maybe it's the fourth one. Yeah, here we go. So you already have some colors set up. So whenever you create a color in the library here, if you click into one of your colors, you can define a light mode and a dark mode variant for that color.
Man, that's perfect.
And so whenever you now bind this color in your app, there's a workflow action to change the theme from light to dark. And so you can use this color in the bindings, and then it'll adapt to whatever theme is being used at that time.
Awesome. Great. So at the top level to change that, you just said it, but it didn't make sense. When I need to have a button in here for the user and then make a workflow out of it, is the workflow already created, or I need to create it?
No, if you, yeah, but there's literally just a single action. So if you go to add an action in the workflow, sorry, there's yeah, I think it's at the very bottom. It's called change theme or something like that. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So then you can
I'll create a button for the user for that.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's specifically light dark, which is light dark. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Nice. That's great. Stuff like that's just hidden gems. People don't,
But that honestly, that kind of, I don't know what you use the AI for in terms of experimentation, but that kind of stuff is super for AI. If you just say like, hey, take my page and create like a color library from the colors on my page and then bind it to those colors, and I want light and dark mode, that kind of thing. The AI is pretty great for that kind of stuff.
Oh, so I don't have to do it manually.
Exactly.
But I need to have once, like, start with light and then say convert all the lights to dark, and it'll know to create the contrast.
Yeah, AI is pretty amazing for that kind of stuff.
Wow, I thought you did it in the background. You're back there.
No, that's we got a sweatshop going on of
yeah. No. Bunch of guys.
No.
Any other quick gems? You probably got
I don't think so. I'm trying to think like what might be related to the page, awesome. I guess, but no, I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Well, have a great holiday, and thanks for the input.
No worries. Cool. Right. Thanks. Cheers. Take care. Cool. We are pretty much at the hour. So I think I'll end it here. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. We are here every Tuesday, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Central European time. And yes, catch you guys next